just pretend, and we all freaked out. What's a shame when only tears know how to remind us we all break the same.
Most of Sundanese people, their religion is Islam. Many things are very best in Sundanese, but culture, behavior, musical.
We see an openness among the Sundanese people. We see that people are ready to hear the message. And even people who you would look at and you would say, oh, that's impossible if they would come to know Christ. Yet we're seeing them also come to know Jesus. A man who, by our definition, would be called a terrorist. Yet when he heard the gospel, the message of Jesus attracted him. And now that man's changed. He is a man of peace because he's met the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ. I believe God, in response to the prayers of His people, just began to open doors like we had not seen before. A lady, when we first moved here, she was our next door neighbor. She was a Sundanese. She shared a dream one day with my wife. She had gotten on a train and had gone to the city of Jakarta. But as she got off that train, she noticed there weren't any buildings. All she could see all around her in the dream were fields, rice fields. And those rice fields were ready to be harvested. There was no one in the fields working. And she knew in her heart that all of that rice would go to waste. She didn't understand the dream, and she said to my wife, "What do you think that dream meant?" My wife opened up the Bible to Matthew chapter 9 and showed her where Jesus said, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Pray to the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into His harvest field." She explained that the harvest were the souls of people ready to come to know Jesus. So she looked at my wife and said, "Do you think my soul is ready?" My wife said, "Yes, I think maybe you are. But this also does not just mean you, but I think it's saying that all the people of West Java, there are many out there who are ready to hear." And so that's what we see. We see that there is an openness, and it goes beyond what we would think is possible. On the outside, there's a lot of friendliness, a lot of happiness. They're very open to relationships. They enjoy laughter and fun. They're an extraordinary people. But beneath all of that, there seems to be fear. A fear of the unknown, a fear of death, a fear of the spirit world. And as we look at that, we see that fear comes from a lack of knowing God. Thousands of communities don't have any point of light within them. There are no believers living among them, especially none that are of their people group throughout West Java. And just pray that the gospel would spread into every area where the Sundanese live, that communities of faith, house churches would be planted all throughout this province. Pray for those who have come to faith. When a person comes to faith, most of the time they are rejected by the community around them. They many times face persecution, face estrangement from their family, And that's very difficult for a person who is Sundanese, who is very community-minded.
Ya mungkin Pak yang di Hawaii Pak kami yang lebih gitu di terus di uber gitu dibenci gitu. Dulunya saya tidak pernah percaya apa yang telah mereka katakan, tapi setelah saya mengalaminya sendiri, saya percaya.
Pray for those who have come to faith, that they would be strong in their faith and that they would continue to be able to share the gospel in their own webs of relationships. What can you do? What has God placed in your life? Any talent, any ability that you have can be used by God in this place. We need prayer. We need desperate prayer among His people, because the Sundanese will not hear if God's people do not pray. I believe what God desires is that every Sundanese person, all 32 million of them, would have opportunity to hear the gospel in an understandable way, and that His church be planted throughout every area where the Sundanese live. So I would challenge you to be involved, whether it be by coming or through prayer. Whatever God leads you to do, be involved in reaching the uttermost parts of the earth.